You might remember it was about 1.5 weeks ago that I covered a news article, and I couldn't find the original one. It's up on one of the Daily Tech News streams. But let me switch cameras here. This guy, Roy Lee. Now, Roy Lee was a student at Columbia University, and what he did was he created a piece of software called Interview Coder. And we covered this briefly, and I was all rah-rah for it. And the reason why I was rah-rah for it is because I have been complaining about leak code as a way to hire programmers since, I'm not joking, I believe it's the very, very first stream I ever did on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to think. I've done I guess technically I did streams before that, but it was like many years apart. So I kind of, that's like all the older stuff is like years and years and years back. So I don't even count that. And so when I saw Roy Lee create a piece of software that essentially lets you cheat on leak code, I'm like, yes, this is good. This is great, because this proves the point. It proves that leak code is an absolutely dogged way to determine whether a programmer is actually a good programmer or a bad programmer. The only thing you're doing by implementing leak code interviews is determining whether a programmer is a sheep who will do what you ask them to do and memorize a bunch of ritualistic algorithms and recall them on demand, which will barely have any impact on the day-to-day operations that a programmer does. So when I saw that, I thought that was great. Now, unfortunately, Roy Lee had to move to the dark side. And as such, he has incurred my criticism. He created Cluey. Now, what is Cluey? Cluey is a desktop software, and it's the intent is that it's supposed to listen to your audio, watch your video and your screen, and provide you on-demand information about what you're doing. And so the entire premise, there's actually a manifesto. It's cheat on everything. So if you go look at what Cluey, the manifesto for Cluey is, we want to cheat on everything. Sales calls, meetings, negotiations, etc. We built Cluey so you never have to think alone again. It sees your screen, it hears your audio, it feeds you answers in real time, while others guess you're already right. And yes, the world will call it cheating, but so was the calculator, so was spell check, so was Google. Every time technology makes us smarter, the world panics, then it adapts, then it forgets, and suddenly it's normal. But this is different. It redefines how our world works. Why memorize facts, write code, research anything when a model can do it in seconds? And for this, okay, he has received $5 million in funding so far. You can already see where I'm going with this. And then on top of that, he's made some rather bold claims, one of which I called him out on, which he probably will never see and will never respond to, which is probably good for him, because if he tried to tangle with me, I would completely demolish his entire worldview in an instant. But he won't. And I'm not entirely sure where to begin with the problems with this, but just one of the problems right here. How many times have I gone over academic studies in enlightened programming streams on this channel and daily tech news streams, which both demonstrate that AI, when used in the capacities that everybody seems to want to use them in, has net negative, not net positive, but net negative results, including making people dumber. And these things are way overhyped. They do not produce the kind of output that they're sold as producing, and they cause actual harm to people's abilities to work with fundamental concepts, including just the concept of like not anthropomorphizing the AI agent that they're talking to. This is a huge sellout, in my opinion. And I don't know if this is like some massive meme and this guy turns around and he takes all that money and he goes, haha, got you all suckers. I have no idea, possibly, but I doubt it. I think what happened is this guy got kicked out. He wasn't accepted into Harvard and he got kicked out of Columbia. And now he has a big hard on for some kind of rage against the machine. And so he'll just do whatever it takes to get what he thinks is deserved. And if that means that he also has to cheat and lie about the output of AI, then he will do so. And he has. All it takes is looking at some of his replies to some of his posts, and you'll see that he perpetuates all kinds of assertions without any evidence at all, because he has some kind of drive to do this. So unfortunately, I have to call him out because it's just a bunch of crap. And what's shocking to me is that this guy gets away with it and gets money off of it. Now, let's have a look at what he has done with Cluey. I used the cheat on everything AI tool and it didn't help me cheat on anything. What a shock. So Victoria Song tried this out. Cluey runs on Mac right now. It's not on Windows, and that's it. So a $5.3 million investment, cheat on everything, right? It claims to read your screen, listen to your audio, and discreetly prompt AI to find answers or whip out smart responses in real time. Okay, so she tries it out. It's a true AI maximalism, where in every possible use case AI can be helpful. It is. Let's see. Okay, so in the ad, Cluey works like magic. And so that's why I have this opened up here, because this video essentially shows him like wearing a set of glasses and everything is showing up on a heads-up display, a HUD display on the glasses. Well, that's not how it works at all. You install a piece of software and you run it on Mac, not even Windows, and that's it. Okay. We spent the first couple minutes troubleshooting Cluey related audio problems. The AI can't intuit what I need to know, even though I gave it some context ahead of the call. There's no being discreet when you have to type prompts with a clacky mechanical keyboard. The few times I try, it's obvious my eyes are wandering to the side of my screen, and whenever I shoot off a prompt, the AI takes forever to generate a response. These are all flaws that Lee acknowledges. Right now, the product is in its earliest possible stages. This is a bit more than a proof of concept that was developed in a few weeks. The video was like a launch of our vision, not a launch of the product. The problem with AI has never been a lack of vision. The fine print is in the execution. And I think this right here are the two sentences that I find to be actually the most succinct way to encapsulate what's happening with AI. It's not about vision, it's about execution and the limits of those execution. Poor execution almost always shatters the illusion of whatever tech founders are peddling. Cluey is no exception. When I show my spouse Cluey, they lift a quizzical brow and ask, why not just use Google? Apparently AI will just give you better answers than Google does? Wait, what? I mean, maybe, right? Yeah, he's cheating himself. It's never been easier to be magnificent in this world. The bar gets lowered every single day. Yeah, that's right. And this is what it looks like. Over top. This is a far cry from the video. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that what was demonstrated in this advertisement video is never going to happen. I'll just call it right now. It's never going to happen. AI will never get to that point where you can wear a pair of glasses and you can do the things that were done in this video. With my editor, I had many of the same technical problems, albeit the latency is less of an issue in a relaxed conversation about shared interests. She asked me what I thought of K-pop group Blackpink solo careers, particularly Jennie's recent performance at Coachella. Honestly, I have no idea what this means. This all seems like Nordic black magic language to me. Thankfully, that's a topic I have many thoughts on, but I prompted Cluey anyway. It spouted a generic, stiffly worded answer about how it's awesome to watch a celebrity express themselves creatively 90 seconds after I'd already shared my true opinion. That's an eternity of silence in an interview. So you can't even have a conversation. He's too young, didn't understand the value of his first app. I can agree with that. I didn't think about it that way, but I can agree with that. So Cluey says you have to get consent of parties before you do recording and stuff. So the author here did that. On the meetings call that she started, Cluey seemed to cause mic issues, resulting in lots of audio feedback. My colleagues asked me multiple times to mute myself. All the audio problems disappeared once I stopped Cluey. It's hard to look smart when the AI can take 2 whole minutes to digest a conversation. You get distracted by 4 errors that pop up, and everyone shushes you because of messed up audio. Yeah, yes, you could make these things better. And I'm going to go out on a limb again and say that these things will not get good enough. They will not be anywhere near as close as to the video demonstrated here. And I think that this is delusional thinking from someone who feels slighted by what I think fairly is an academic system that kind of diminished his capabilities and kind of looked down on him. And I can actually agree with him on that. And I can understand where he's coming from. But now what he's doing is he's selling out principles to an AI system that, first of all, will make you more stupid than you already are. Let's admit it. We're all stupid. Okay. And we've all gone over the science. If you're on this stream, you've seen me go over it, where it makes you more stupid. The idea is that you want to cheat and lie. And he is lying about the concept and what this is capable of doing. And he also lies about the future of these things. And he's feeding into the negative destruction of an entire industry upon which he's profiting off of. So at this point, to me, this man is scum, in my personal opinion. But I started out appreciating what he was doing. Maybe he'll prove me wrong down the road, and that would be fantastic. If I'm wrong, I would be happy to be wrong. But at this current point in time, this is very scummy behavior, and it plays into all the negative aspects of AI and LLMs and all of that stuff that we've gone over ad nauseum here, and we'll continue to go over. And the beatings will continue until morale improves. Keeping company of thieves gets you what you deserve. Cheating is stealing. Yeah, and that's what all of these companies do. That's exactly what they do. And this just feeds into it more. That's all this does. Another reason not to talk to anybody who's holding a smartphone. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to talk about and spend a little bit of time on. I thought this was particularly egregious, and I might never hear from Roy. He might never respond to any of my public, pushback on any of this crap. But it doesn't matter. I'm still here. I don't care how big you are. If I think you're wrong, I'll come after you because I care about the tech industry. Like, I actually care. I care about everybody who's in it. I care about us all making money. There's a lot more money to be made, and this isn't the way. This is the opposite of making more money. I know it seems like that because you got $5 million in seed funding or whatever it is, but there's way more money to be made by doing things far more proper. So I'm going to call you out if that's what you're doing. At my own peril. Because this guy might actually be smarter than me. I don't know. I would be shocked. Very few people are actually smarter than me.